And good morning, bonjour, and other words you want to say for this morning as we get ready for another race in the Legend of Zelda 80% No Up+A 2018 tournament. This morning we have the race between Panulphe and RKCTKC. I'm being joined by Tetra Lee. What do you know about these runners?
Well, good morning, everyone. I've been actually spending some time with them this morning, watching Pan's stream, and Pan definitely has the advantage in terms of the his experience. He's been running Zelda 1 any% for quite a while now, gradually pushing his PB down. RK is relatively new to speedrunning, really only started within the last month or two, but has already shown that he can compete with some of the best runners, just barely losing to, I believe it was King Doll in the last race.
Yeah, it was Kingdom in the last race, but he got slapped with a disqualification as he ended up not returning to the manhandler room in four. He ran out of bombs, tried to find his way around, died, and came back later. This race is off and running. We're going to see both of these guys do a two first route based on research.
Yep, Pan's been running a two first route for quite a while. We'll see if their routes diverge at any point. There's a couple of variations you can do with a two first route. Some involving the blue ring, some involving a red candle route. Really depends on what the runners are comfortable with.
Yeah, RKCTKC on his PB run does a no blue ring route. His PB is 3550, which is good for 54th on the speedruns.com leaderboard. Panulphe is still doing a blue ring route, and we'll see the differences come into play. His PB is 3715, which is 70th on the board, which is pretty decent, a 3715 on a blue ring route.
Yeah, definitely. We see a little early lead by RK, who's been doing more screen scrolling to get to level 2. But still anybody's match at this point. They've barely gotten started.
Yeah, just underway, and a 3 second lead going into level 2 does not mean anything at this point. That all depends on how the combat works out, as we'll take a look and see how the bomb luck works in this Korea room coming up.
Mhm. Yeah, there's also a couple of variations folks can do and that I've actually been personally experimenting with since I'm doing a two first route myself. Depending on which keys you want to pick up, some folks stop and kill the Moldorm that's going to come up in a room or two. Others choose not to and get an extra key from level 1. It really depends what the runner's preference is.
Both runners ending up getting double packs of bombs from the Gorias, which was good. Panulphe been low on health through most of this too so far, but gets a good force bomb. Both of them actually getting force bombs, and the nice fairy drop there for Panulphe, so he will have beam sword for this rope room.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really good Moldorm room there. And getting those ropes in a nice row to take out with the sword. Oh, a little bit
Ooh,
of a troll
troll.
dongo.
Ango.
Yes, indeed. But Arcade still makes quick work of it.
Well, let's see how Panulph's troll dongo goes, and he gets him the right way, so that's going to be a little bit of time savings for Panulphe. RKC first out of two. Panulphe, we're going to see the routes diverge coming up in just a moment.
Yeah, still neck and neck pretty much. And the next part of the run, getting the white sword normally, can be a little bit tricky because of all the tektites and other things that can sort of nickel and dime you out of health slowly if you're not careful.
Yeah, and if you end up losing a lot of your health, you are not going to have a lot for that Lionel that's going to be guarding the white sword. So we're going to see RKC, TKC, and Panel both get these 230 secrets. The difference will come into play. RKC, TKC is going to head towards the heart container, while Panel is going to go grab the 100.
Yeah, if you're buying the blue ring, you have a much tighter budget and need to get more of the secrets. In fact, pretty much all 3 of the 100 secrets that are available in the game. So Panel's going to make his way up to what we sometimes call the casino corner to get the 100 secret.
right above the money-making game above it. So RKCTKC's got Beam Sword coming up for this screen with the Lionel, which is good. So you can use your beams to help try to push this Lionel back while you try to set up your invincibility frames to get past him. And there you go. That's perfect execution.
Yes. Wonderful Lionel skip for RK. And it's going to pick up the White Sword sub 4 minutes, which is not bad at all in a race setting.
Pretty solid. Well, Lionel decides that it wants to come towards him. Thankfully, he didn't turn around and beam him, because I've had that happen before. It's not a fun feeling.
No. One of those beams from the Lionels takes away 2 hearts if you don't have a ring, and that's really smart.
RKCTKC ending up taking what was a damage boost right there because it pushed him down, which was what he ended up needing to do after all.
Yeah, and now we see Pan going up to pick up his White Sword. Let's see how it goes with the... ouch!
And he's got to be careful
there.
Yeah. Because that one beam now makes it 1 hit or 1 touch, and Panulphe's dead, and he'll have to return to that screen immediately under tournament rules.
Yeah, that's a really stiff penalty. In the meantime, RK is doing his pirouette. Oh!
That beam sword almost got him.
Wow. Yeah, that was... I see somebody in chat saying, how do you say haircut in French? Excellent question.
Bleu.
Yeah, je ne sais pas, I don't know myself, but that was definitely close.
Like, that was just pixels away from Panulphe taking the death right there, so he can get to level 1. We saw the on RKC's side, the pirouette to unlock the door heading into level 1 to save yourself a key purchase or a key usage.
We'll see Pan do that just in a second or two as RK picks up the bow. Oh, but having a little bit of trouble getting out with the trap. That's a very tight timing to skip around the trap in the bow room.
Panulphe hoping to get some heart drops from these staffos and not really getting it, though.
No, that's rough. Yeah, a death inside a level is usually not as costly as one in the overworld, since you don't have that immediate roll to return to the room. You just have to return to the room you died in at some point during the run. But
gets a good heart drop there.
Yeah, oh, that's a relief. And it looks like RK is going to pick up his first Triforce piece right around the 6.5 minute mark.
Yeah, pretty solid time.
Yep. Keep in mind that a lot of the difference between the runners is due to the 100 secret that Pan picked up, taking a little bit of a detour during his White Sword pickup.
Yeah, we'll see if that time ends up coming back a little bit later on via not taking as much damage. As RKCTKC is going to head on over towards level 3. Will he get the on his PB route? He goes for the red candle. The question is will he go and get the candle now or just go straight to 3? He does get the 30 secret right north to start.
Yeah, the major limiting factor when doing a red candle route is that if you don't buy the blue candle, you don't have access to it until after level 7, which is after you would do normally your shopping that you need the money that you then would need a candle to get. So that's sort of the limiting factor there, but it looks like RK is going to go directly into level 3 without buying a candle.
Yeah, we see that immediately. He does check the sword here, which told him he was not in the right pixel when he flipped around, so he reset his screen scrolls. Panulphe done with level 1. He's going to go and get his candle now because he's going to need it for the 100 secret out of 3.
Yep, exactly. RK is making quick work of all the Zols in level 3, getting some nice fairy drops and 5 rupees off of them. He looks like he's doing the bottom route, not the top route in level 3.
So RKCTKC is going to be grabbing the key and heading on over towards the Dark Nut room as Panulphe picks up his candle. and gets a follower at the same time.
Yep. So it looks like Pan was having a little bit of trouble with screen scrolls there, but still is able to make his way down to level 3 as RK picks up his raft. Oh, and a nice bomb drop off those dark nuts.
Yep, absolutely. That is good. We are seeing a much needed bomb drop there, so that avoids having to face off against these dark nuts here in this room to bomb over to the right hand side. He can just go ahead and ignore them, just spend his bombs. It gets a bomb drop anyway.
Wow, that was really lucky. And going into Manhandla with full health is definitely a good thing. As Rick knows from commentating my last race where I went into Manhandla with 1 heart and barely survived.
It is a scary fight indeed. You know, it's so he didn't get the he's gonna be spending his bombs, and you remember bombs came back to hurt RKCTKC in the last run, so he does now go to the sword strats, leaves 3 bombs behind, grabs the Triforce out of 3. Probably would hate that Manhandla fight, but you know, you're still alive and you still got your bombs.
Yep, definitely. Meanwhile, Panulphe is making quick work of the dark nuts to get his raft, getting some lucky fairy drops, so he'll have the advantage of having beam sword. Oh, and with the swag hit on the Keith there. So he'll likely have close to full health going into the Manhandla fight.
And RKCTKC takes the bob there because he's going to be setting up his 10 count, trying to get a forced bomb drop coming up here in level 4.
Yeah, level 4 is a little bit tricky to go into without bombs because even if you have a white sword, if you don't have any bombs going in, there's really no way to get them other than by doing a 10 count. So that can definitely be tricky if you're going in relatively low on bombs like RK was. Let's see how Panulphe does with Manhandla.
And perfect bomb, but doesn't get the bomb drop, but he does have 3 bombs. And RKCTKC does get the forced bomb drop here in level 4. And he's going to be thinking pretty good about that because of what happened in the last run against King Doll, where he ended up running out of bombs, had none to head to the middle room here, and ended up going to the Manhandla, and that's what ended up resulting in the issues that we saw. Panulphe out of 3, he's going to get his final 100 rupees to grab the blue ring, and here's the breakfast room.
Wow, RK getting all the bomb drops, it seems like. I've even lost count of at least 2 or 3, making use of them on the pancakes in the breakfast room to go with the eggs and other breakfast-themed enemies. And we'll pick up his ladder as Panulphe makes his way to pick up his blue ring, just barely having enough rupees to do so.
Yeah, 250 rupees is the same amount that he had in his personal best where he picked up the blue ring. RKCTKC going to be doing the ladder clip here, where it's the same principle as the screen scroll. You end up getting yourself partially up this ladder, then you do the quick 1-frame trick. But he's having a little difficulty getting it squared away just yet.
Yeah, there he goes. And then gets the remaining bomb. Is he going to go take the top route? No, he's going to skip the key there. Hopefully he'll get an extra key somewhere else to stay even with the key count he wants going into level 9. And a nice forced bomb drop there.
Yeah, that's 5 bombs that RKCTKC ended up forcing here in level 4. Well, I think he probably got 1 random off a fire as well through the bomb here against Gliok. And this here, pretty easy textbook fight. Takes a bomb at the end, which prevents him from having no fill-up, as Panulphe now starting to go through level 4.
Yeah, now when I was talking with Panulphe before, he was mentioning that he's has a little bit more of a tough time doing 10 counts than some of the other runners. So I'm a little bit worried for his sake if he'll have enough bombs. You definitely absolutely need 2 to make it through level 4. So if he manages his bombs carefully, he should be okay, but it's going to be a little tight.
Yeah, you may see him lay down 1 bomb here for a chance, and there he goes. He got it.
Very lucky there. Great. So let's see how well he does with the breakfast room. Meanwhile, RK's picking up the items from his little shopping trip. We'll be picking up the bait for 60 rupees and then the wood arrows for 80 rupees. Those are needed to make his way through level 6 and 7.
And then we're going to go ahead and see the world wrap as he goes from one side of the world to the other side of the world with the principle of grabbing the heart container and then rafting on over to another heart container a little bit shortly after that. Panulphe here getting ready to do the ladder clip in level 4.
Yeah, one of the advantages of the red candle route, in addition to being able to take the world wrap to skip having to walk over most of the overworld to get from 4 to the east coast, is also that you can do your shopping a little bit earlier. When you're on the blue ring route, you generally don't have enough rupees to be able to afford your bait and arrows until after you're done with level 5. So that can also give RK a little bit of an advantage here. He's going to pick up, I'm going to guess, a heart, not a potion here. Yeah. Meanwhile, Panulphe is about to go into his fight with Gliok, although he is not doing as well health-wise, unfortunately, as RK was.
Yeah, he's taking some unfortunate bombs to the fires, and he's going to have to be careful. He can take 3 free hits to this Gliok, but after that, you're in trouble. And he's got one of the heads down. He's down to half a heart, but he's fine. There we go.
Yeah, we'll take a little bit of a penalty on the refill, but much better than the penalty he would have taken with a death. Meanwhile, RK looks like he's going to be setting up for the screen scroll to go into level 5, avoiding the up, the mountain intended route.
One of the biggest time saves a screen scroll gives you in this run as he goes into level 5, and Panulphe, as we saw RKCTKC do the world wrap, we're not going to see Panulphe do that. That's for the reason of his rupee count. He's going to need the same amount of rupees that RKCTKC needed coming out of level 5 to do the shopping. He only has 16, so he's going to grab the 100 out of the forest.
Yeah, the other thing that he can do, taking the little bit of the scenic route along the coast, liking long walks on the beaches, so to speak, is that he can farm for both bombs and some extra rupees, since he's still going to need about 24 more. And we'll definitely want more than one bomb going into level 5.
Absolutely. Is RKCTKC
level 5?
Yeah, he does the he's heading through the room of requirement.
Yeah, this is arguably the toughest, or one of the toughest ones in the game. Getting a 10 count off of the blue dark nuts and using bait strats?
I think he probably thought that the bombs were still on the B button at that point, because he ran out of bombs and went to the next item, which is the bait. That's the first.
Yeah, I don't know if this bait even work on dark nuts. I thought it only worked on like Grias. And
I don't think they do, unfortunately.
Maybe someone in chat knows. Meanwhile, Panulphe is picking up a bomb drop so that he's at least halfway full. There's a lot of blue Octoroks coming up as he picks up the Coast Heart and the Raft Heart. Hopefully he'll be able to fill up going in. Meanwhile, RK is going to get a bomb drop of his own from the... actually, he's not going to get the bombs from the Gibdos, apparently. Or unless he did and I didn't see it.
I think it just went up. I think his bomb count went up to 7, so yeah, he did get the bomb drop.
Okay, my bad. So now Pan is in a little bit of... he does get his second bomb drop. That's really helpful, because you want all the bombs you can get for the room of requirement there, and you need 2 just to even make it to it.
Panulphe has got 136 rupees at this point, and he needs 140 to do all of his shopping coming out of level 5. It's not a problem, because there is the room of the Zulls that does give a forced 5-room drop, as well as their decent rupee droppers as well. So his rupee situation, not great, but it's manageable.
Yeah, and in emergencies, he can also take a slight detour once getting to level 4 to pick up a 10 secret just to the east of the raft spot there. But meanwhile, RK is picking up his park container and made quick work of Dig Dogger, picking up his Triforce in level 5.
Yeah, he's on a real good tear at this point right now, and he's got to be feeling good about this run compared to how the last run went, as RKCTKC doesn't have to do the shopping. He's about ready to head into level 7.
Yep, exactly. Just 1 or 2 toots on the whistle, and he'll be ready to go right into level 7. Even warping to 3 instead of 4, which I think saves a little bit of time walking to level 7 when you don't need to stop by the Westlake Mall, as I like to call it.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to do that. Doesn't have to worry about the screen scroll there. Is going to 3 is probably a little bit better of a route here, as Pan gets the 5 drop off the blue Darknuts, which means he had already surpassed 10 on the count when he killed that first Darknut.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to get them bunched up together in order to be able to bomb multiple ones at a time. Looks like they weren't cooperating too well, although he is able to get a lot of health refills and a fairy, so he still has Beam Sword, which definitely makes dealing with them much easier. Meanwhile, it looks like RK is going into level 7 and getting a floor drop.
Yeah, he ended up going to the Keys room that's left of the first Korea room, because that does have the bombs as a floor drop if you kill the Keys. So he did that to replenish and get full bombs for what he needs for the remainder of this dungeon.
Oh, I see what he did there. Yeah, just a small detour is able to let him do that. Some other folks will take care of the Gorias in the room right below where he is now, but is making quick work of the blue Gorias in this room, getting bubbled a little bit, but nothing he can't work around. And now taking out his bait for the hungry Goria.
The last tournament, we had a peace offering to that Dig Dogger by laying down some bait. We haven't seen any real strats of that yet lately here, as the one intended purpose of the bait that you need it for, right there, feeding the grumble, and making your way further in here. Now, RKCTKC, as we've noted before, is doing the red candle route, so we're going to see him go and get the red candle. As noted in other tournament races, that's going to do one thing to his reverse C room coming up.
Yeah, it means you have a much worse bubble pattern in the Wallmaster room. And as anybody who's played level 7 in vanilla Zeldas knows, those Wallmasters will grab you and take you back to the very, very start of the level. Basically the second worst thing to taking a death in level 7. You definitely don't want to be in that position, so a lot of runners use a secondary weapon, either the red candle, sometimes arrows or bombs, in order to work around that. We'll see how well RK is able to do that. Meanwhile, Panulphe is going to go into his fight with Dig Dogger. Oh, 2 Dig Doggers at once, actually.
In green dungeons, nonetheless.
Whoa, double Dig Doggers, yeah. Looks like both of them are able to take their respective Dig Doggers out very quickly and move along. Let's see how well RK handles the switching to a red candle. Yep.
Yeah, that Dodongo was in a position where he could have been really nice and give stop for the bomb drop, but unfortunately he did not. Solid room with that awkward bubble. We got a little worried, but he didn't get grabbed. He continues on. The 3 bombs, going to use one to open up the path to Aquamenace, and we'll still have some bombs in reserve for what's coming up in level 6.
Yep, Hannah's now going to be going on his shopping trip, and RK is going to be taking out the sort of cinematic boss of level 7, since 3 stabs with the white sword is all it takes to take him down. Relatively easy compared to other bosses in the game.
And I'm going to point out, this is solid runs for both of these runners at this point. These 2 have been really on a good tear, and I'm wondering how they're measuring compared to their personal bests, and I'll take a look at that coming up in just a moment. But this has been a phenomenal run for both of these runners.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely couldn't play as well myself, I don't think. And I believe they're PBs for Pan is about 37 minutes and a couple seconds, and RK's is around 36, so relatively evenly matched in terms of their PBs. As RK is going to pick up his magical sword with having 12 hearts to do so. Panulphe entering level 7 here. With only 3 bombs, let's see how he makes up for that. Choosing not to take out the blue gorillas there. He'll have to find another bomb source to get through the level, because I believe you need at least 5 total to get through level 7, preferably more to deal with the Dig Dogger. RK now entering level 6 and gets a nice bomb drop off of the Wedwizwobes in the first room there.
Yeah, Panulphe currently has 2 bombs, so he has enough to make it to that blue gorilla room that he can have a chance to get some bomb drops after the red candle room. Solid belfry room for RKC. Still has beam sword, which is nice for this first magical breakfast room.
Definitely. As long as the bubble doesn't take away your beam sword, you're doing great. Oh, and a fairy, so we'll be able to get his beam sword right. And a clock, too. Wow. RK getting lots of lucky drops there. Meanwhile, Panulphe is going to skip the red candle, having already gotten the blue candle, and make his way right into eventually the Wallmaster room, although he's going to have to take out the Dig Dogger first. RK looks like he's getting lots of bomb drops off the buyers here, so he's going to be in great shape for bombs going into level 8 soon. Let's see how the magical breakfast room goes for him. Looks like he's making pretty quick work of all of the enemies there, avoiding the bubble there to take out the last pancake.
I'm back, and RKCTKC is only 12 seconds off his PB.
Wow, that's really great for a tournament race. You know, when you're racing on your own, you can just reset, you know, whenever something goes wrong. But when you're in a tournament, you just have to keep going, using marathon strats. And how well you recover from a death or other sort of issue is often what separates the really great runners from just the good runners here. As Pan makes quick work of Aquamenus, getting his Triforce from level 7, just as RK picks up his Triforce piece from level 6.
Yep, and now RKCTKC will head on over towards level 8, and Panulphe will do the same thing that RKC did a few moments ago and grab his magical sword.
Excellent. Panulphe will now do his screen scroll trick to... Oh, having a little bit of trouble with it. Let's hope he can get it. RK, still... I don't believe either runner has picked up a potion yet, unless I missed one.
No, neither runner has a potion at this point. RKCTKC normally gets the one after level 8 to take into level 9. So we'll see him go to get the potion south of level 1.
Now, coming into level 8, there's 2 blue lagoon rooms, as I think Lack Attack named them, with a lot of blue dark nuts, and those can sometimes take a lot of health away from you. And RK looks like he's going to be using mostly sword strats as opposed to bombs on these blue dark nuts, as Panulphe goes into level 6.
Yeah, at this stage in the run here, bombs start to become a premium because you want them for level 9. So you know you need at least 1 bomb to complete this. You need 2 to get to the Patra 2. So you know you need 3 bombs at this stage in the run. So you don't really want to go too obsessed with using bombs. A little trouble in this Blue Lagoon, but he's out of here at least.
Yeah, bomb management is really one of the key things towards getting a solid time. As I can attest to personally based on a run the other day when I had bomb trouble in the later levels. It looks like RK is going to be clearing everything from the room in the middle. You normally don't see runners clear this room, but is able to get a bomb drop off of the red Dark Nut, which was really good. Now he's up to full bombs.
Yeah, this may have been so he doesn't have to deal with the Patra 1 coming up in level 9. So We do see RKCTKC having an easier time with this Blue Lagoon 2, which some have dubbed this the harder of the 2 rooms. He does take a bop and takes another bop now. So now we're getting to that point where, gets a fairy drop. Never mind. It's going to say we're getting to the point where he's going to have to start being really careful because you don't want to go into low health with Gliok coming up.
Oh, absolutely not. The other thing to note is that he was staying between the 2 little statues. That has the advantage of not causing them to fire at all, which makes them easier to dodge, obviously, but has the disadvantage of putting you right in the Darknuts line, Darknuts path. So let's see how he takes care of Gliok now back with returning with 4 heads instead of 2.
Yeah, Panulphe did have a little issue in that Magical Breakfast room, the Magical Breakfast 2, and we did see him take a lot of damage to the point that if he was running not on blue ring strats, he would have been dead at that point, back to the start, being down to 4 hearts. Just some kind of just went all out at that point as RKCTKC finishes off with level 8. Like I said, we'll likely see him go grab the safety potion coming up south of 1 before heading into level 9.
Yep, it's also worth noting that he took the heart container from level 8. A lot of runners tend to skip that because it's in a inconvenient part of the room and costs a couple seconds to do so. But, being in a marathon race and wanting to keep things safe, or tournament race rather, that was probably a smart decision.
Going to grab this potion at 30 minutes in. Wow. See how RKCTKC does with level 9. His PB is 3550, so a solid 9, he still has a chance to get this.
Yeah, he's definitely on or very, very close to PB pace. So, and we're seeing in chat a gold split for level 6, which is obviously a great thing. So we'll see what RK does coming into level 9. Some people start counting bombs at this point on their way, but being at 7 on the count, he may not be as worried about doing that as if he came out from level 8 with fewer bombs. Meanwhile, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe at 7 he's got all he needs for level 9 at this point.
Yeah, having some extra ones for combat never hurts, but yeah, he's definitely in good shape bomb-wise. Panulphe made pretty good work of the first Blue Lagoon room and is getting through the second one without the room between them without taking damage. Meanwhile, RK is in level 9, and with 2 keys is probably going to be taking out the jellies and pancakes in this room for a key. You need 3 to get through level 9. Okay, looks like Panulphe is having a little bit of trouble with the last few Darknuts, but even gets a heart drop and is going into the stairway with a relatively high health. Let's see. And
yeah, Panulphe ended up having that issue that you were mentioning about where RKCTKC stayed towards the middle of the room, did not get the fireballs to spawn, but the fireballs really started wrecking Panulphe and prevented him from getting the sword hits that he needed on the Darknuts.
Yeah, it really is a pick your poison type of thing. The Darknuts deal, I think, 1 heart of damage if you have the blue rings, so those can add up really quickly if you're not careful. Meanwhile, RK gets past the Patra without taking too much damage, and is now going to be in the next room, as we call it, because of the old man who says go to the next room, which this is.
One of the 3 required Wizrobe rooms on level 9, and takes care of it pretty easily. Getting some hearts to replenish the ones he lost from Patra, so only down 2 hearts as you get ready to see how he does with the Patra 2 skip.
Yeah, that's pretty good at this point in level 9. Looks like he's going to be doing a 10 count on the Zulz there to get even in a better situation with bombs. Probably will have leftover ones from combat. Meanwhile, it looks like Pan is going to be picking up his safety potion as well.
Oh yes, this now makes it so that RKCTKC can bomb this reverse C room. So this should be quite the reverse C for RKC. We'll see how it goes in just a second here. And 6 bombs. You only needed this stage in the run. Only 2 more left in the run. So you can spend 4 of these without any problems. And there we go. Gets a
Wow.
fairy drop for beam swords in this room. That's also tremendous.
Yeah, I also want to point out he did the ladder clip to skip Patra too, without, I think, taking any damage. So this is turning out to be a really great level 9 so far for Arcade.
Only problem was he got bopped by the bubble, so that slowed him down in that reverse C room. Couldn't get the final hit on the blue whiz robe. Took a hit. He's got the silvers at 3346.
And Pen is going to be entering level 9 now with 5 bombs and 3 keys, so he'll likely skip this little breakfast room and just head right
Beautiful.
into this.
Beautiful
Wow.
reverse clip.
Yeah, that is, they make it look easy, but it is not. And getting, a little bop by Patra 2 on the way back, but still doing fairly good health-wise.
Still got potion. He's in fact got red potion at this point. One more required Wizrobe room to go. Patra 3. He should have a blue heading into Ganon at the very, very least.
Yeah, I think at this point it's kind of RK's race to lose. Already having the silvers and being most of the way through level 9, making pretty quick work of these blue. Ooh, although taking quite a few.
He's got to use it now. He does not want to lose this race to that, because at this stage where Panulphe still would have a chance if RKC takes a death here in level 9.
Yeah. Also keep in mind that the blue Wizrobe beams give 2 hearts of damage and the red 4, and those can be very dangerous because you can be in 1-hit range of them and not even be beeping, so might not even be aware of it unless you're really keeping careful track of your health.
I lost a PB to that. I lost a PB to an orange beam when I didn't realize I was that low in health on a tunnel vision. As RKC getting ready for Patra 3. Doesn't look like he's going to get the PB here. It's a little too late for this, but this is still going to be a very solid run at 36XX.
Oh yeah, definitely. Making pretty quick work of Patra 3, and we'll be headed into his Ganon fight right now. Meanwhile, Pan is going to see if he can skip through. Oh, Patra 2 not playing nice. Oh, that's too bad. Let's see how RK handles Ganon.
Yeah, see if he can't get him in the good stun lock here. Oh, he's got the beautiful... Oh, no, he lost the pattern, but he had the great setup there. Beautiful Ganon, and RKCTKC is going to take this race over Panulphe.
Yeah, get your GGs out in chat. This was a great race.
And RKCTKC finishing in first place. Official time 36:06, only 16 seconds off his PB run.
Wow, you can't really ask for much better than that in a tournament race. That's really, I'm really happy for him that he was able to pull this off. Although it looks like Pan is having a little bit more trouble in the silver arrow room here. We'll see if we can get RK to come in for an interview shortly. Oh, this last blue one is not playing nice at all.
Yeah, at least it got stuck on the block, so it wasn't threatening you health-wise. Panel still keeping that red potion in hand, and we'll get to see whether or not RKC comes in. But that was a phenomenal run there for RKC, and, you know, it was just very solid most of the way.
Yeah, when you're doing any percent as opposed to randomizer, a lot of it just comes down to execution, and RK really executed well on this run.
And speaking of that, welcome in RKCTKC. Congratulations on the win.
Oh, are you there, RKCTKC?
I think he's there, but we're getting game audio from him very heavy at this point, so we'll wait for just a second on that. As Panulphe clears out this room, was unable to get a reverse clip, and ended up using his red potion, so he's still got 1 potion left to go. Still a solid run here from Panulphe, and still a very capable, very possible sub 40 for him in the books if he can just get a smooth effort here to Ganon.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing pretty good pace, although getting a little stuck by one of those lake lights there. Let's see if we've resolved the audio issues with RK. Okay. Looks like we're still having those issues, but in the meantime, Pan's making his way through one of the other required Wizard rooms, still on a fairly good pace, probably sub 40 still. Not having to
Yeah.
use a potion yet, too.
No, he's used one potion
Oh,
in the diamond staircase room coming out of the silver arrow room, but he does have a blue for Ganon.
oh,
All
good.
right, that should be good right there.
Hey there,
And
RK. How's it going? And congratulations on your win.
Hey, thanks a lot. I had a little bit of trouble there in 9, but made it through.
yeah, we'll talk more about that coming up in just a moment as Panulphe doing Patra 3 and gets his way to deal with Ganon. So let's go ahead and get Panulphe to the finish line. Put your baguettes and croissants in the air and wave them as if you don't care.
Yeah, let's see what pattern he gets on Ganon. Gets the first hit. Oh, loses him before he can get the stun lock there.
Yeah, he went bottom right.
Oh, that's too bad. Now taking the safe route, being in the lower left corner, but
Yeah, he's
still
down to
having trouble with the stun
yeah,
lock. Ugh.
yeah, he was down to 3.5 hard, so he didn't really want to chance it too badly. The last thing you want to do is end up dying with a potion in your hands. As Panulphe does finish off Ganon, he's going to finish with a sub 40. Get your GGs on out.
Yeah,
As
excellent
Panulphe
work by
finishes
Pan, getting a sub 40
in
time.
39:45, the official SRL time.
Very nice performance from both of these players. They should both be proud. And get your GGs out in chat. And yeah, so RK, tell us your thoughts on the race as a whole. It looked like, from our perspective, a pretty solid run for you.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I was doing pretty good all the way until 8 when I lost a lot of health in that first lagoon. I was trying to make it up in the next room.
Oh, that's what you're going for was health?
Yeah, I was trying to come up with a little more health for that second lagoon.
Now, one of the things we noticed was a tremendous belfry room, a tremendous magical breakfast room in 6, as it turned out to be a gold split for you. Tell me your thoughts on that 6.
I think that was mostly luck. Everything just happened to be right in the perfect place.
Well, you definitely can't complain about good RNG and luck there. The game is not always as nice as it was to you. So, any other thoughts about various points in your run?
I think it was overall a pretty good run. I actually could have PB'd there if I didn't have to take both potions at the end.
Yeah, you ended up finishing what? According to the SRL time, 16 seconds, but it was more like what, about 12, 13 seconds off your PB overall?
I think it was more around 9 or 10.
Wow. But still, that's very impressive that you can get that close to your PB in a tournament race. Yeah, congratulations again.
Hey, thanks a lot.
And we also say hello to Panulphe. Good run for you, GG.
Yeah, thank you. I finished a run.
Well, you finished a run. You finished a tournament race sub 40, so got to give you some props on that. Where do you think this run went well, and where do you think you had some troubles with this run?
Well, everything went quite fine until level 5. I gained some times after 4, but I was already behind. So level 7 was okay. Level 6 was not too bad. And then my 9, well, did my best.
Yeah, and you still did a really good performance overall. Sub 40 is still a great time, even if it doesn't quite match your PB. What I wanted to know about a little bit more was your level 8. It seemed like you were getting a little bit tripped up on the blue dark nuts, but still were able to pull it off in the end.
Yeah, the first room with the darkness was really quick. And then the second one, I couldn't move around the way I wanted to kill them all and be quicker. But my 8 was not too bad because my refill in 6 was really high. And my 8 was just over like 20 seconds from my PB. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
But it was fun. I was worried that RK was going to, die, because it would have been fair of me winning by him dying. So it's good that he did so well, because he didn't complete that many runs in so far in practicing Zelda. So it's good.
And the fact that what ended up happening here is it was a tough matchup, given the fact that RKC was running at or near PB level all throughout the entire run, and it's hard to top a runner when they're that hot.
Yeah, I should to top him. It would have been really hard. I would have been like having to go there nearly every place.
So
because my sum of best is 35. So
I'm going to ask you one question about this run. It happened at the 4.5 minute mark. What were your thoughts? Were you sweating bullets when that Lionel threw that beam sword at you with 1.5 hearts left?
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you had my audio, you would have heard some new swear words in French. Yeah, I was really, and on the way back to the stairs down to the Tektites area, I was like, he also was that close to hit me in the back. So I was like, I was sweating. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was terrible. That's why I decided not to try the screen scroll. I decided to move from the Tektites and then screen scroll.
Let me just put it this way. You probably were about 2-3 pixels away from having to return to that square again.
Yeah, I realized it. I was like, that was the biggest sigh of relief.
Well, GG to both of you guys. RKCTKC, you're now 1-1 in the tournament, and helped to draw your tournament average down. And then Panulphe 0-2, but you've got a solid average time for your runs. I think if I'm factoring it out correctly, you're just over 40 minutes on your time. So you're going to be a force to be reckoned with the 0-2s next week.
Yeah, I'll do my best, and I would love to say also that I liked having you around for the commentaries, and it was fun racing with RK, because he's a nice buddy. Right, bye chat, bye everyone.
Yeah, and speaking of that, please make sure to give both of these runners a follow. They've both put on a really good show, had great races today, both sub 40. And also want to plug a couple of additional races coming up later today. We have Cake Sauce versus King Doll coming up at noon Eastern Time. Captain Green 7 versus Cananophone at 1:30. And yours truly and the Bent Glass 2 will be playing at 4 p.m.
And then I get annihilated at 10 o'clock to JSR2 Gamers. It'll
Well,
be fun. Watch it.
Well, you did have a really close win in the first race, so I guess that's sort of the what you get for winning your first race. Yeah.
Good luck to both of you, et j'emmerde les arbres.
Au revoir, Pan.
RKCTKC panel. Special thanks to Angry Larry, who held the restream and ran the controls in the background. Tetraleaf was a lot of fun doing commentary with you.
Yeah, same right back. It was a pleasure.
So be sure to head on over to Speed Gaming 3. That is where the 12 o'clock race is going to be.
Hey, call me RK, and thanks for commentating.
No problem, RK.
All right. Well, unless you have any other final thoughts, Rick, I think we can go ahead and close this out. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And again, please make sure to give both runners a follow for their great performances today.
So with that, we say adieu and goodbye.